The wolf pup was freezing to death when he found the bear cub. The blizzard had swallowed the northern forest, turning the world into white walls and silence. The pup stumbled through the storm, paws numb, cries lost to the wind. He was moments from collapsing. Down the slope, a cry cracked through the howl of snow. A bear cub huddled beneath a fallen branch, shivering so violently the log rocked with him. He wasn't going to last much longer either. The wolf pup staggered toward the sound. Two babies met in the storm, one born a predator, one born prey, both on the edge of the same fate. The pup gave a weak growl. The cub blinked and inched closer. Instinct didn't matter. Survival did. They pressed together beneath the broken log, sharing the only warmth left in the frozen world. By dawn, their mothers found them, but the bond between them didn't melt. Years later, that winter-born bond was about to be tested again, in a way no creature deserved. The forest lay quiet at first, deceptively calm, until the bear screamed. Pinned beneath a burning branch, he thrashed as flames crawled across the forest floor. Smoke swallowed the pines. Embers rained like sparks from the sky. The fire was closing fast, and his strength was fading. Across the river, a lone wolf froze mid-step. His ears twitched, nostrils flaring. The scream cut through the chaos, sharp, familiar and urgent. Then he saw it. The trapped leg, the spreading blaze, the friend he shouldn't have cared about, dying. None of it mattered. With a single bark, raw, fierce and terrified, the wolf plunged into the river. Steam hissed around him as he fought the current, swimming straight toward the fire instead of away from it. A wolf risking its life for a bear shouldn't happen. But some bonds endure, forged not just in survival, but in trust, courage, and unwavering loyalty. The fire moved faster than the wind. By the ridge, half the valley burned, shadows twisting between trees. Sparks drifted like burning snow. He took a trembling breath, then charged toward the sound he knew better than any howl. The bear's roar. Smoke hugged the ground, forcing him low. He ducked under branches, dodged flaming brush, and sprinted through heat that seared his paws. A burning pine crashed behind him, showering embers. Still he ran. Then he saw him. The bear lay pinned beneath a burning branch, shoulders heaving, claws scraping at the dirt. Fur singed. Eyes tight with pain. The wolf barked. The bear opened his eyes. Recognition, even here. The wolf lunged, teeth sinking into the burning wood. It scorched his mouth. He pulled anyway. The branch didn't move. The bear groaned, legs kicking weakly. A gust fed the flames, climbing the trunk above them. The wolf braced and hurled his body against the branch. Crack. Small but enough. The bear freed one paw, but the wolf's hind leg slid into a tangled root and stuck fast. He yelped. Trap. The bear hesitated, a single moment where he could have fled to the river. He didn't. With a deep, guttural roar, he shoved his shoulder under the branch. Muscles shook, smoke curled from his back. Inch by inch, the branch rose. The wolf twisted free. The bear collapsed, coughing, but there was no time to rest. Fire closed in from all sides, leaving one escape: the river. The wolf nudged him. The bear staggered upright, leaning heavily against him. Together they limped toward the glowing water. Behind them, the hillside gave way in a sheet of flame. They leapt. Water swallowed them in steam, side by side, carried by the current away from the blaze, back toward the place where their bond began. The river carried them far downstream before the current eased. The wolf dragged himself onto the pebbled bank, hind leg trembling from the bruise. Moments later, the bear stumbled out beside him, coughing smoke, steam rising from his soaked fur. Both of them collapsed. For a long while, the forest was only dripping leaves and distant flames. Scorched trunks stood under a sky the color of ash. The wolf lay on his side, chest heaving, ears flat. The bear sprawled on his belly, too weak to lift his head. But slowly, painfully, the bear crawled closer. He pressed his forehead to the wolf's neck. A gesture he had learned as a cub. A gesture that meant, "You're safe. I'm here." The wolf blinked, exhausted, and nudged the bear's nose with his muzzle. They stayed like that, side by side, until the trembling stopped and breath returned steady and warm. By dawn, the smoke thinned. Light filtered through what branches remained, turning the river gold. The bear rose shakily to his feet. The wolf tried to stand but winced, sinking back down. His leg could hold no weight. The bear turned immediately. He padded behind the wolf, nudged his shoulder, and lowered himself beside him, offering support the same way the wolf once had, when the bear was only a frightened cub tangled in reeds. The wolf leaned into him, and together they walked, slow, uneven, but moving, through the burned clearing, across the smoldering logs, back toward the hill where a fallen tree had once sheltered two lonely babies from a blizzard. When they reached that familiar hollow, the bear lay down first. The wolf curled beside him, head resting against the massive rise of the bear's shoulder. They didn't sleep or move. They just breathed, watching the first flakes of snow drift down through the wounded forest. The fire had tried to tear them apart. But here they were again, in the same place where their story began, proving that some bonds don't break. They burned brighter. Winter returned slowly, brushing white across the burned hills as if hiding the scars. Days after the fire, the forest grew quiet. No flames, no fleeing animals, only the hush of falling snow. Rangers searching the area found what remained of the wildfire's edge. Charred logs, scorched earth, and something else. Tracks. 2 sets, side by side. Wolf, bear. They followed along the riverbank, past blackened pines and over the hill where smoke had died. The prints never separated, moving together as if the creatures who made them were bound by something deeper than instinct. At the top of the ridge, the prints paused beneath a crooked fallen tree, the very same shelter where 2 babies had once survived a storm. Ash clung to the bark now, but the shape was unmistakable. This was their place. The rangers found nothing else. No bodies, no signs of struggle. Only the long trail of prints disappearing into the untouched forest beyond, where the fire hadn't reached. The wolf's stride was uneven, but the bear's track pressed close to his, steadying it, protecting it, just like before. One ranger knelt beside the last print, brushing away snow until the edges showed clearly. "They made it," he whispered. "Together." Below the ridge, the river murmured under a thin sheet of ice. The same river that once carried a lost pup into the paws of a patient, curious cub. The same river that cooled their burns as they escaped the fire. Wind moved through the pines, soft and low, sounding almost like a howl woven with a deep, rolling rumble. 2 voices, different, but joined. And as the storm clouds drifted aside, a pale sun filled the valley with light, touching every scar, every tree, every quiet corner of the forest. Some friendships aren't born of blood. They are forged in snow, proven in fire, and carried into the wild for as long as hearts remember.